Tuesday. As you can tell, I'm grinding, making some videos all at the same time. I'm not wearing the same clothes. I mean, I guess I could go change my clothes and do my hair and do stuff every video and make it look different, like it's a different day, but I don't care. I'm grinding, making just different videos. Today's lesson is going to be a little trickier. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to give you 3 examples to go off of and to do some practice, or I guess we're just going to kind of practice and cruise at the same time, hopefully, and get you ready for this assignment. It's a little trickier. We're using the Pythagorean theorem again, as you can see. Let's get my pen rolling here. I'm kind of digging this yellowish action here. Now, you can see they want the value of x, and we're dealing with an isosceles triangle. And isosceles just means that these 2 legs here are congruent, and they want x. And I'm not necessarily going in the order that you're going to see on your homework, but remember, you can always have my YouTube video open next to your homework and kind of reference and go back and forth like that. I mean, I think that would be a great resource to help you. We need to find x. For me, let's just change these values because I don't want to do this exact problem. That way I'm sure you have this problem on your homework. So instead of 8, let's make this 10. Let's make this 10. And let's make this guy 8. So on your paper, if I were you, I'd just pause it really quickly, if I were you, my video, and I would draw this out exactly how it is with my values. That way you've got notes for it. Okay, and then press play and we'll keep cruising. Now we need to find x, and this example is actually pretty easy. It's one of the easier problems, and what I would do is I'd just cut this triangle in half. Right? You can see we have a big triangle here. I would cut this guy in half so it looks exactly like this. And I'm doing my best to draw. It's hard on this tablet, but I'm doing my thing, okay? We have x right here, right? That's this, I'm cutting it in half so it looks like this. Boom, boom, boom. We have our 8 down here at the bottom. And we have our 10 up here in the corner. Now this looks exactly like yesterday's lesson. I mean, you could just go ahead and finish this right now, press pause, and check your answer with me. That's what I would do. Just cruise. But we're going to go right now, and we'll do our thing. This guy's our c, remember, because he's across from the right angle, which means we have a squared plus b squared. What is that, 8 squared? Equals 10 squared. Well, x squared plus 64, brain farted there for a second, equals 100. Subtract this guy to the other side, right? And we have x squared equals 36. Take the square root of both sides, right? That cancels, and x equals 6. And if I were you, you could have my YouTube videos open when you're taking the quiz. This is just a huge resource. Have the YouTube video open while you're doing the assignment. I mean, that's what's great about having me kind of go through these problems with you. Okay, just make sure you have your notes down, do your thing. That was the first example. Now let's go to the second example, which is going to be trickier. Oh man, this is looking a little dicey. All right, it is. But we got this. Okay, let's go back to what we know. If I were you, well, let's change this. Instead of square root of 13, let's make it square root of 15. And take the time. After I'm done, let's make this 4. And draw this thing out. Press pause, draw it out so we can kind of go through this together and do our thing. Now, this x, I just want you to see, is really this entire side at the bottom. That's x. And you're like, okay, well, it's tricky. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this triangle in half like we did before. Now, we're not going to put x at the bottom. I'm going to put a different letter at the bottom, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let's cut that triangle in half and draw them over here to the right side. Now, this bottom piece is just half of x, right? This little bottom piece right here that we have at the bottom of our triangle, let's call that a. Okay, or we can even, if you want, because some of you kids get confused on what my things look like, maybe it's a y. Oh, let me go back to my thing. Let's call it a y. This value right here is a 4. And this value up here is a square root of 15. Now, any time that you square something that has a square root, it just cancels. So I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go ahead and figure out what this is down here. That's our priority right now. Okay, let's go black. So we have, this is our C. we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's our square root of 15, right? Now, y squared, oh wait, this has got to be squared, right? Y squared plus, what is it? 16? Oh man, this is a bad example I gave you. This needs to be a smaller number. Can we change this to like a 3? I'm so lame. Let's change that to a 3. It's got to be a smaller number. So this guy here, and we can go back and just erase everything and say, hey, this guy's a 3. Which means this guy's not going to be 16. He's going to be what? 3 squared is 9. Let's go back and make some changes. I'm sorry. When I'm making my own problems, it's hard to make it work on the fly. Equals, now this is when it gets a little tricky. When you square a square root, they both cancel. So this just becomes 15. Okay? Do you see that? Okay, y squared plus 9 equals 15. Subtract that guy over. Y squared equals, what am I thinking? What's 15 minus 9? Is it 6? Y equals the square root of 6. Now, on your homework, this is going to be a whole number. I'm giving you a hint right now in regards to your answers down here. This is going to be a whole number because what we just found right here is half. Right? It's half of this bottom section. We found that right there, which is square root of 6. But let's just say it's a whole number for just for example, and let's say it's 5, right? That means this guy over here is 5, and 5 plus 5 is our whole length at the bottom, which is our x, which would be 10. So whatever you do when you split this guy up and find this bottom side, you just double it because that's what x is going to be. Now, I made up the problem, and it wasn't clean, so that's what I get. But I'm just showing you as an example, you take whatever you get down here, and you double it, right, times 2, and you get this bottom piece down here. Most likely it's going to be a whole number, so I'm thinking either 3 or 6 down here. I'm not going to check it because I don't want to do that. Last problem, and I'm going to give you your keyword for today, for this video number 3. Video number 3 keyword is grit, G-R-I-T. If you don't know what grit means, it means perseverance. It means not giving up. It means getting after it and just never being satisfied until you get it. Now, last problem for our video, and then you guys can be done after you do some problems. Okay, can I get this one right, hopefully? We'll call this 6 at the bottom. We'll call this square root of 22. Should I... This guy will work no matter what. Okay? This guy will work no matter what. Now, take a second, copy this down, just how it is, nice and neat, give me a neat picture. And then, press pause and press play when you're done. What we're going to do for this problem is the same thing we've been doing. We're going to stick with half of this triangle. Now, I'm going to draw this half. What I have here, and this is the key, remember, 6 is the whole bottom piece all the way across. So if I'm cutting this triangle in half, this whole bottom piece isn't going to be 6. I mean, the whole bottom piece is 6, but what's half of the bottom piece going to be? What's half of 6? It's 3. Okay, that's important. If you don't get that part right, making that connection that, hey, if I'm cutting this in half, I got to cut this in half, you're going to get it wrong. This guy's x, and this guy's the square root of 22. Now we can kind of move forward. Remember, this is our c, and you can finish this on your own now if you want to just press pause and then check it with me in a minute. Okay, we have x squared plus 3 squared equals the square root of 22 squared. And what did I tell you when you square root or you square a square root? It cancels, right? That's a beautiful thing. So we really have x squared plus what's 3 squared? 9 equals, that cancels and you have 22. Subtract him over. What's 22 minus 9? I think it's 13. So we have x squared equals 13, and your last step is to take the square root, and x equals the square root of 13. Okay? I would appreciate some feedback, maybe even on Friday when you give me your email that has your keywords in it. You could say, hey, your videos are really helping me with the assignments. It's more convenient having you teach me than this dude on Khan Academy. Whatever, just some feedback would be great, letting me know how things are going with the other classes, or just so I'm not on an island, just teaching to my computer screen and having no interactions with kids. So 11-minute video, not too bad. Take some time to go through these problems. Hopefully everything I taught you helped. You can just reference my video if you need to. See you kids tomorrow. Same outfit.